Okay, I think we're live. So happy Friday, everyone. It is time for Forex Fridays. Again, I'm going to be doing a market breakdown today. The way we're going to do it is we're going to do a market breakdown every fortnight. So every 2 weeks, we're going to have just a session where me or Mark will go over what we've been looking at in the markets, just so you can get an idea of how we trade, what our style of trading is. Now, if you're in GENIE already, you'll know that me and Mark's trading style is very different. So it might be good to get a perspective of maybe how I trade and then how Mark trades as well, just so you can see, like, even if you don't have the same style of trading, you can still make money either way, right? So I'm just going to go over some of the setups that I took, some of the setups that I had, but I missed them. And just so you guys can see what it is that I look for in the market. If you don't understand this and you're new to trading, I would suggest go and get the GENIE course, even if you're a beginner. If you're midway, if you're advanced, but you're still not making any profit, that sort of thing. If you want to just really clarify your trading, head over to genieforex.com. I'm going to link it below so that you guys can see what we offer, see what the course is, and possibly get into it so that you can really know your trading skills, right? But if you do understand you're someone who's advanced and you just want to, see how we trade, then stick around, because I'm just going to show you some setups. So today, I'm going to go over, I've got CAD JPY on the screen. If you know me and you follow me on Instagram and on GENIE, then you will know already I don't trade GBP and I don't trade gold. So if you're looking for me to say that I shorted gold, I definitely did not, because it's just too volatile all over the place. It's just not really my thing. I'm more of a stay safe trader. I don't like to trade things that are too volatile and all over the place. I would rather wait and get a more guaranteed pip count than go for something where I'm not quite sure if it's really going to happen or not, or it can be really quickly affected, right? So I trade pairs like CAD JPY, Euro JPY, basically anything CAD, JPY, CHF sometimes. That's a little bit risky as well. I'm not too sure. It really depends. Like I traded USD CHF the other day, which I will go and show you, but usually I try to keep CHF to a minimum as well, because Swiss franc just seems to be volatile when it wants to be. It kind of just has moments where it has a tantrum and then it goes back to normal. So it's a bit of both, but I just tend to stick to normal pairs. CAD pairs are my favorite. I just like the way CAD moves. And I don't know, it's just a preference. So I'm going to go over CAD JPY. If you know me, you know that I trade based on patterns. That's literally all I look for, but I have certain things and confirmations that will make my patterns pretty much very accurate. Obviously I'm not gonna tell you the whole thing, but I'm just gonna go over what I was looking at. So I had CAD JPY on this massive wedge sort of thing on, what day was this on? Let's see. So 27th of October, I think that was like a week ago, just over a week ago, right? When this broke, caught the sell all the way down. So I have my take profit where this line is, but I took profit early around here because I started to see it stalling. So I took profit around this area, which was, let's see how many pips I was entered there. That's about 50 pips. If you keep up to date with all my trades, you'll see that they're really no more than like 30 to 50 pips. I barely catch like big moves. If you see traders that say, oh, you're not a real trader if you don't catch 100 pips, like, I'll give it a rest. It doesn't matter how many pips you catch. If you can consistently catch a certain amount of pips, you're a good trader. Forget about you have to catch 100 pips or 200 pips to be a good trader. It's nothing to do with that. If you can consistently catch 30 pips, you're going to be better off than someone who catches 100 pips then loses 70 pips. Then it doesn't really make sense. So just do you. If you're good at catching 30 pips, amazing, stick to it. If you're good at catching 100 pips, amazing, stick to it. Like, everyone's very different. And when it comes to, a lot of things on Instagram, I see a lot of traders saying like, oh, if you don't catch 100 pips or more, you're not a real trader, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, give it a rest. You obviously don't know about trading. So I went for 50 pips here. This could have been like 100 pips. I think if you count the whole thing, it's like 100 pip move, 120 pips. But to be honest, I like to play it safe. I've learned from my mistakes in terms of risk management. So I'm very focused on risk management. Not in terms of, risking 3% of your account, but more so taking precautions, like moving your stop loss to break even as soon as possible, making sure that my stop loss is in profit, I'm tailing it, and just getting out if I feel like the market is going to reverse on me. I'd rather just cash in my profits than, maybe it will carry on going down. I'd rather just take the money and, look for a re-entry. I didn't re-enter on this because there was nothing really telling me to. So I just cashed in this bit, but obviously if I was to keep it running, it would have come all the way down here, and that's like 120 pips. So that's one setup. Let's see what else we had going on. Okay, so USD CAD, again, it had like a little flag pattern going on. I sent this into the group chat, I think 3 days ago. I said that USD CAD is going to go up to this area here where it's literally just touched it. So that is, let's just see. So that's 80 pips. So that's one of the bigger trades. This morning I actually cashed in my trade here in this area. So that's around 55 pips. Again, I just saw it moving a little bit bearish. So I thought, it's better just to cash it out than maybe play it risky and go for that extra, what from there to there, 30 pips. Is it worth losing it all or hitting break even? Not really. So I just cashed out. But again, if I did keep it to take profit all the way here, it would have then been that many pips. Let's see how much is it again. I forgot. Yeah, 80 pips ish. Then let's see what else we've got going on. So, okay, Euro JPY at the moment is just ranging, keeping far away from that. You can see loads of manipulation happening. So not really trying to go near that. Then we had USD CHF was one of the biggest setups that we had this week. Again, if you're in the GENIE Telegram chat, you're going to already know about the drop we caught from here. So for the GENIEs, we were looking at it. Let's just get a little circle. So we was looking at it from this area here to drop all the way down to this area again. I'm fairly sure some of us took profit in this green zone, and then we waited for a re-entry, and then we got in again and we came all the way down to this area. So that was take profit 1, and then we had take profit 2 as well. Altogether, that is around 100 pips. So again, kind of a bigger trade, but I went into 2 trades. So I got 50 and then 50 again. And then, yeah, when we do take profit, we always try and do it a little bit higher than it reached before. It's usually just what the market does. A lot of people would have put their take profits down here. But the market likes to manipulate and catch people out. So we always have to be one step ahead. And then it decided not to follow the Elliott wave that we have going on, and it decided just to come back all the way back up here and break the pattern. So we're just going to let that fizzle out and do what it's going to do. Not really sure what it's doing at the moment. I'm not really going to try and trade it because there's no clear patterns to what it is doing. So we're just going to leave that to do that. What else did we have going on? Well, we had USD JPY, which I missed. I was so upset about it. I had this pattern going on here, and then as it broke, it completely manipulated everyone. I'm fairly sure that was some sort of news from USD. I think Donald Trump tweeted. I'm fairly sure it was something to do with that. Wicked everyone out that was in a sell, and then it dropped. So we got some market manipulation going on there. And then it came back down to a daily trend line. If you zoom all the way out, you can see it. Not rocket science. And then, yeah, I would have personally put my take profit here if I had entered it, but I wasn't looking at it, sadly. But if I had, I would have put it around here, maybe a little bit more upwards. So that would have been 50 pips. So you can see all of my trades are kind of similar. They're all around the 50 pip mark, 30 to 50 pips. And if it is over 100 pips, usually I enter twice. So I'll go in once for 50 pips. And then if it shows me signs that I should re-enter, then I'll go in for the last 50 pips. But to be honest, I try not to be greedy. I try to just, keep it. If I get 50 pips, amazing. That's me done. Like for that trade, I won't really usually re-enter, because what happens is when you do, you have to be 100%, you can't be 100% sure in trading, but you have to have all your confirmations set, and usually there's not as many, and I'm not as confident as my first entry, so I tend not to re-enter. But when I do it, I'm 100% that it's going to have all the right confirmations, otherwise I will not enter. So I think that's pretty much all the setups that I had going on. Right now I'm looking at NZD CAD. I sent this into the genies this morning. A lot of people got manipulated by this wick, just because people are very impatient, especially retail traders. Worst trade ever. So let's just see how this candle closes. It will close at, what's the time? Yeah, in like 20 minutes. So it'll close at like 6. And when it does, we will see from there what we're gonna do. But if it does close like this, definitely going in for a sell. Depending on a few of my other confirmations, we will see. Obviously, if you're in the Genie chat, you'll get the update. But maybe possibly we'll wait till Monday just to avoid weekend charges because it is Friday. So let's just see how it plays out. But if we do enter, we're going to be going for around this area here, which will be 60 pips. That's it. So obviously, depending on what lot size you use will depend on how much you make. But let's see, if we go on a standard, we'll make quick £600 roughly, and then we'll see what next week holds. But I hope you guys have learned a few little tips from this market setup kind of thing. If you like it, leave a comment. If you want me to go over anything in particular, again, leave a comment. And if you guys have any questions about anything to do with Genie, trading, whatever, and if you're just new to trading and you want to know how you can get involved, send an email to genieforex@outlook.com. I'll link everything below in this video, and hopefully see you guys next week.